Namaskar Maitreya ji and everyone. Thanks for this best opportunity of me sharing both the inward journey and trial in my life. Trial is a process that only the you in you is needed and your passion to go deep within. That's what Maitreya ji says. Trial is a divinity prayer and it is a core of everything. One knew, one never knew, and one is not able to know easily. The ryle, the core connection, and its essence is a fruit one who has not tasted, and each one of us has to taste it personally by the inward journey, the core connection. Spirituality connection is nothing but the connection between the mother and the child. The you in you is the unique connection. But when you travel in the journey, you may find one and the same, but it is a superficial layer. When you travel inward, totally you may find that it is the unique you. Each unique soul journey one should find on their own, traveling in their own time. During this process of inward journey, one may come across a lot of difficulties, obstacles, pain, sufferings, turmoils, stress, frustrations, temptation, etc., etc. But each step in this journey is worthwhile of all the failures and success you come across, such that the success is so grand that you may love to take it repeatedly if the chance is given by the nature. This attitude will clearly allow to face the you in mirror vividly. Yes, all of us know that this life journey might end one day. But during this process, how a person evolves and grows internally is worth noticing. Throughout our life, we have been following an organized pattern of splitting the mind into family, office, profession, colleagues, friends, society, etc., etc. But forgetting a space for within, where we are spontaneous and creative and are in a situation of controlling the other brackets. Without an exclusive space within, we work like a machine unknowingly and die without an inclination of knowing the true purpose of our life. Yes, of course, I was also not an exemption to it. I was into the normal routine life. A situation, crisis came into my life that my husband met with a major accident. Children were too small, not able to continue with the existing business. Stress, trauma, and depression, imbalance in the mind was going through. It was a blessing and grace that I could step out for the inward journey in 2008. I have to travel quite a bit to attend the weekly sessions. During that time where I used to lock up my children at home, for that time the priority in my mind was that I have to get into the inward journey. But immense faith was there that they are taken care of. From 2008 to 2010, parallelly with my inward journey, got blessed with the social activities under SoulSearchers, inculcating within me the value of sharing and caring when we meet the children and elders, the people who are in need. We are much privileged to be there and blessed to support them. When our usual caterer who used to provide food for Annadanam has to shift to the Kerala from Bangalore, it so happened that with the blessings and grace, 2010 started up with the kitchen to support the family and also the underprivileged children. Yes, at that moment I was not with much of plan or structure to get into a business. I have not done a MBA degree in business management or catering course, nothing like that. It was an absolute faith that inward journey helped me to flow and was under the umbrella of grace and blessings. My knowledge was only to cook for 15 to 20 people that moment. But it so happened that the knowledge turns into wisdom for the working pattern, planning, teaming, focusing, clarity, etc., in my work. Maitreya used to tell me that even the bitter gourd is cooked with love, it tastes awesome. Slowly, with awareness, got into the art of cooking. No idea till that moment that how energy get transferred to the food while cooking. And also the awareness pitched in that the aroma and flavor of the cooking spreads when the ingredients are added to it at the right moment and the right time with all the love. That is the beauty of the mom's cooking, we all know. We really waiting for us to reach home and have the home food when we are having outside food even for 2 to 3 days. Earlier, I used to cook that flows, no thoughts, nothing in my mind was there. But when I got into the art of cooking, I used to tell within myself and intend within myself that I should not get frustrated or anger or in depression while cooking. So I used to consciously tell it to myself whenever I enter the kitchen for cooking, or to keep myself in poise, I used to chant while cooking. Maitreya used to say the core of action is always based on the heart and the mind. The heart has to understand the action, experience the action, and mind has to move on the path as shown by the heart. Realized later that I was experiencing through heart and also executing through heart. So I was totally at the emotional level and executing at the emotional level also. And slowly it took a toll on my health that I have to take a break for 2 years. The flow wasn't there. That's because of the duality I had set in for was holding on to I. Then after a 2 years break, slowly started at home level, the kitchen, and the inward journey and the kitchen journey continued after 2 years. It so happened that in 2019, the nature gave us a chance to start the kitchen again. And as I said earlier, not giving up, love to take up the kitchen without any thought process, and got into it with the help of the partner who is also in the RAL chair, Lalita Sairam. So the journey continued with a lot of awareness, teamwork, involvement, consistency, etc., etc. The journey was still beautiful with the learning with the awareness. Consciously was aware now that the shift happened naturally without intending, that my mind was in poise while getting to cooking and the flow was natural. And with the blessings of Maitreya ji, yes, the RAL Diksha was facilitated to adults, teens, and underprivileged children. Earlier, when we used to distribute food to the underprivileged children, the children used to fight and run after the food on seeing we reaching there. But on slowly, we could see the change in them, that when we reached there, the same children started asking, when are we going to sit for the breathing exercise or the meditation or coloring activities or any activities we are scheduled for that day. That is the small transformation we could see in the children. And also when we shifted from area to area, the children took the leadership and get food distributed in a very organized pattern. Rather than sitting and having the food amongst them, they took the part of serving others, and also they took the leadership. One day, when we are working with the younger children, they used to wait for this session before we reached there. One day it so happened that we are waiting for a longer time and the kids didn't turn up for the session indeed. So we went to the houses, hiding began and watching. We could see the children getting dressed up for coming to the session. They brushed up, they combed their hair, they washed their hands and legs, changed their dress. They were helping the siblings, etc., etc. That was a small change we could see in them. So the adults or teenage or underprivileged, please stay connected and get connected. Even housewives, doesn't matter that you should not get into the spiritual journey. The core within you is unique. Parallelly to the family life, create a space for you so that you don't grip over it as you proceed in the life. Teenagers, yes, you are pressurized with a lot of competitions, courses, etc., etc. But get connected with you, which is more important. The guidance flow from within to travel in passion, whichever you choose. You get the clarity and decision making is very clear in your professional journey or academic journey. It was a blessing that Maitreya ji's presence, the Ral Diksha, was bestowed on underprivileged children too. And the seed is sown. So we definitely know that with this grace and blessings, they would also come out in flying colors. If the core personality has the depth and clarity, then life walks on the path of fulfillment. It is the core which creates the inner thirst, compelling one to go deep, allowing one to rise to the pinnacles of one's own evolution of consciousness. Those who go deep with the self rise to the consciousness and they are able to let go of the I so easily. Let's stay connected, stay blessed. Let us breathe in peace and breathe out love. The core connection helps you to empower you and also others. Namaskar and thank you so much.